Hey everybody! Hello and welcome to another exciting MacWhisperer live broadcast. My name's Frank. I'm your host for today, of course, and thrilled to have you here. You feel like you're only scratching the surface of what your Apple Watch can do? Or maybe you're not sure if you're using it to its full potential. Well, today it's all about unlocking the secrets of your Apple Watch and turning it into your ultimate tool for productivity, fitness, and connection. Whether you're tracking your health, managing your time, or staying connected on the go, the Apple Watch is packed with features to make your life easier. And we're here to help you make the most of it. Dylan, of course, will be sharing his power tip, a genius trick that's going to take your Apple Watch experience to the next level. And don't forget, as always, we have a downloadable smart guide. Today's is even more gorgeous than last week. And extremely, just a great ultimate tool for mastering this incredible device. I love what the team has been doing. So, as always, introduce yourself in the chat. Tell us where you're from, you live loungers. Let us know what you'd like to learn about your Apple Watch. We'll do our best to accommodate everybody. The agenda is packed with mastering the basics, customization tips, productivity and connectivity, fitness and wellness features, and power tip, of course. So, don't forget to put in your questions along the way. We're going to do our best to accommodate everybody. Let's bring the man of the hour in. And let's have a good time. There he is. What do you say, Dylan?
See you, Frank. Glad to be here today.
Glad to see you. Good to see you as always. Got a lot of people shuffling and everybody's ready to watch their watch.
Good. Yeah, you gotta stay on the watch the whole time. You can't look at the screen. You only can look at your watch.
No, don't tick us off.
Don't do that. All right. You ready for me to get into things? You want to prep the crowd? What you want to do?
Let's see. I think the people are starting to talk about where they're from. I don't see any questions yet about their Apple Watch, but that remains to be seen. Yeah, well, everybody's chiming in. Lubbock, Texas. And Scott from Palm Springs. We got Manny here, of course. London. Danny from Montreal.
Nice.
Yeah, Stephanie's here. That's great. Yeah, everybody's filing in. But anything you wanted to say to address the crowd, you let me know when you're ready.
Yeah.
And let's get to the watch. What do you want to say?
Well, I just want to kind of set the tone here and say, I remember when the Apple Watch was first announced and when it was first released and nobody had one and nobody wanted one and they were just considered a small iPhone. Why do I need a small iPhone? I've already got a normal sized iPhone. And Apple really mismarketed the watch. From day one, they thought the watch was a fashion device. And they hired the woman who had run Burberry to revamp all the Apple stores. And they put the Apple Watch in Nordstrom's and Neiman Marcus, and they had little stands where you could look at the different watch bands, and it became all about the fashion of it, and nobody bought it. From day one, I saw what the Apple Watch was supposed to be. Two things. First thing is, it's a fitness device. That's the first thing that it is. And the second thing is that it's a notification device. It's never going to be a fashion device. People are really specific about the watches they use. They'll spend $10 million on watches. Apple tried to take advantage of that by having a gold-plated Apple Watch in the first generation that I believe was $10,000 or something stupid. It didn't sell at all. And the first several editions of the Apple Watch didn't sell at all. I have had every edition because, me. But I continued to watch and this is my favorite part about the Apple Watch, as women continued to not buy it, even when they have no ability to easily answer their phone. You'd say, but why couldn't a woman easily answer her phone? Because it's usually in a purse. You see, the watch should have been marketed to women or to men who are tired of their women not answering the phone, because it gives you instant connectivity even if your phone is not with you, doesn't fit into your purse, or in your purse. The notification capability, the fitness capability, those are the things that the Apple Watch should have sold but didn't. But here we are, We're past the 10th version of the Apple Watch now. It's been around for over a decade, and in the last 3 to 4 years, everybody and their grandmother has bought one. Problem is, they're all using it like a standard watch. And the reality is that if you use it like a standard watch, you might as well go buy a Swatch for 30 bucks. It's a really expensive standard watch. So what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about several pieces. I got several pieces to get into. We're going to talk about the things you need to know to make the most out of your watch, the critical tips. We're going to talk about the buttons of the watch, the different ways the buttons work. A lot of people don't understand what the buttons do. And I'm going to tell you as part of my pro tips, the 4 things I love about my Apple Watch, the 4 things that are the sales features for me that are the reasons I wear my watch daily and use it regularly. So consider those my pro tips, because everyone says, well, why would I have a watch? I'm going to tell you exactly why I have a watch and what it does for me. So that's kind of the setup of where we're going to get ourselves started. I'm ready when you're ready. Let me make sure my watch is doing what it's supposed to do here, which of course it's not. So I will warn you guys up front, the way that we're screen sharing, you can see it's through the phone. And that's just the way Apple's made it work. But something has been a little bit funky with it today. It has not stayed on. So if it times itself out like it's done in the last few minutes, I'll just have to keep rebooting it. There it is. All right. So welcome. Let's get started with the critical tips. And for this one, I actually don't need the AirPlay mirroring. We're going to start with critical Apple Watch tip number 1. Use the Watch app whenever you are changing anything on your watch. This is, let's give me a better color there. That color is terrible. Let's see. Make it not red. All right, so there we go. So that right there is the Apple Watch app. And I want to be very careful about this. I will say to people all the time, use the Apple Watch app, and they will go to their watch. And I will say, no, on the phone, there is an app called Apple Watch, and they'll go to their watch. No, use the app on your phone. The watch is small. The things we're going to talk about require you to have really, really, really teeny tiny fingers, which you don't have, and I don't have either. So rather than making it complicated, use the app for the watch that lives on your phone. That is tip number 1. If you've never played with that app, this is the missing piece. I'm going to go ahead and open it up to just kind of show you around a little bit. There are 3 separate parts at the bottom of the watch app. The first one is My Watch. Shock of shocks, this shows you the settings for your watch. This shows you the different watch faces you've got set up. This shows settings, your cellular account, display and brightness. All of this information is right here under the My Watch section that you see in the bottom left corner there. Secondly, in the middle is the face gallery. The face gallery shows all available watch faces and all different versions of them, allowing you to quickly and easily come into a specific watch face, make some changes like I want it to be more colorful, and then clicking the add button that you see up at the top right here to add that watch face into your gallery of watch faces. And you'll notice it pushed me over to my watch, and there's that watch face right now, right here where you can see it. I can see that big white circle. I'll get rid of that too. So when you use the watch app on the phone, and I don't know how to say that clearer because it's an unclear statement. When you use the watch app on the phone, everything gets easier because you've got the full phone to work on. To the far right side, bottom right corner here is something called Discover, and that will teach you things about how to use your watch. And they update that whenever the software gets updated. So there's regular things in here for watchOS 11, for health and fitness tips, for ways to personalize your watch, etc. So after you're done with this live today, go check out that section and see what I didn't tell you about, because I'm not going to tell you about everything. So critical tip number 1, use the watch app on your phone to make your major changes. Now, I'm going to stay on the watch app for a moment here rather than going to the watch itself for critical tip number 2. Critical tip number 2. So it's taken forever for people to get excited about the Apple Watch. And the people that I've been working with that finally got an Apple Watch have all made the same silly mistake, in my opinion. They found a watch face that looked like a watch that they would wear that wasn't a smartwatch, and they have stuck themselves on that watch face forever. In other words, this is the only watch face they use. Tip number 2, you want different watch faces for different purposes. Watch faces use something called complications, and they're going to be complicated, but I'm going to explain them anyways. If we look at this watch face right here, we can kind of see there's not a whole lot there, but there's the clock. I got to change that color again, Frank. Look at that. I make it red again. There we go. Make it red again. There's not much beyond the watch itself, right? Now, I happen to have this little Friday 23 thing here that tells the current date. That's what's called a complication. Why is it called a complication? Well, back when we were dealing with standard windable watches, the clock functionality was the hour hand, the minute hand, and the second hand. But sometimes they would have other pieces of the watch, like we'll show the date or we'll show the phase of the moon, right? Those extra functions on old school watches required additional complicated internal pieces. And so they got named complications. Unfortunately, for those of us in the digital world, we think that means they're complicated, but they're not. It just means that you have different options of what you want to put on your watch face. So as you can see on this watch face, here I've got a complication here that connects directly to fitness. Here I've got one that connects directly to the calendar. Here I've got one that shows my next appointment. Here I've got one for voice memos and one for the stopwatch. This particular watch face has numerous complications, but it's not the only one. If I come over here, we're going to go over to this one. This one is called the infograph. And this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different complications. Now, when I say that tip number 2 is different faces for different purposes, it means use a watch face that has complications for the thing that you're doing. So if, for example, one of the things that you're doing, and I'll go over to one of mine here, is listening to things on audio, this watch face has both Apple Music and podcasts. I could also change this section here to be Audible or some other audio-based thing. Then when I'm taking a walk, this can be the watch face I use to easily access music or entertainment. Depending on what you want to be doing with your watch, configure your watch face for that. For example, this watch face is specifically made for workouts. And you can see that it's got the fitness rings, a little button to click on workouts, a little button over there for the timer, and this shows my status for the different rings. That's what those little numbers are. And down at the bottom, I've got my next appointment, so I don't work out so long that I miss my yoga or whatever it happens to be. Pay attention to creating watch faces for the purpose that you're digging into, for the specific thing you're doing. I'm working out, make your watch face workout. I'm going to the movies, make it easy for it to put on silent. Don't get yourself stuck with one single watch face. Get yourself into the position where you recognize that if you were only going to use one watch face, and that watch face was not going to have any smart capabilities at all, you really shouldn't have spent the money on an Apple Watch. Look at all the different customizations you can do, all the different styles, all the different watch faces you can create to make it easier for you. Critical tip number 3. Everybody's clear on 1 and 2, right? Critical tip number 3 here is use Siri. I know you don't like her, she doesn't listen, she's dumb, you've never tried her, you don't know what button to click, you don't want to say HS, which is my abbreviation for hey, followed by Siri, in the middle of a crowded room because people will know you're talking to your watch. I don't care. The watch is small, the screen is tiny. If you thought that Siri wasn't important for your phone or your computer or your iPad or your Apple TV, that's fine. But if you don't think it's important for your watch, you are missing the big picture. This watch is not big enough for you to do the things you want to do without Siri. So I'm going to go into my screen mirroring here just so I can show us Siri and make it super clear, and hopefully it will work flawlessly. One will hope. It is currently connecting and not working flawlessly, which is annoying. I spent all day going back and forth on this guy. So in a minute, I'm going to pause us and I'm going to try and fix this while we're making sure everybody's got what they need. But this button right here that you see on the right side, the digital crown, the thing that spins, also pushes in. And pushing and holding it in is Siri. Press and hold it. Learn how to use it. It is critical. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. So Frank, why don't you pull this screen off for a moment, share with our friends any of the links you want to bring to them. Let me get my watch back up on here.
Not a problem.
Thank you.
Did you want to speak about the YouTube membership as well, or are you busy there?
Give me a minute. I'm going to let you take on while I get this guy fixed.
I'm going to share the today's smart guide. It's always a fan favorite. Let's bring that up. I was watching team the other day work on this one, and as I say every week, they just keep getting better and better, and it's absolutely true. There's so much information in here. It's jam-packed, a little bit of what already Dylan was talking about, but as you can see, it's extremely user-intuitive, easy to follow. So please, scan that QR guide. That's our gift to you. You can also use the URL at the top there. Share them with your friends. We have a lot of people that are coming just because one of their friends gave them Smart Guide. So we appreciate that. The community keeps growing and we're having a blast.
Awesome. You know, I want to say one thing to the people who are coming on. If you are new, and this is the first time that you've been on a live with me or the first time you've met or interacted with me, let us know so that we can make sure your questions and anything you need pops up to the top. We've got a lot of regulars here. We've got a lot of members of my YouTube channel as well as members of my MacWhisperer membership. We'll talk a little bit about that today. But if you're new, let us know. We want to hear from you. We want to know how you found us. And we just want to connect and continue the conversation.
No doubt about it.
So I had this fixed and now it's stopped again.
Really? That's
annoying. I
annoying.
want to try one more time. Yeah, it's
sure.
super annoying. It's been doing. Oh, no, I got it. I got it working. I got it working. Come on, work fast while it's working. I won't let it go back to sleep again. The problem happens when it goes to sleep. Okay, so we're going to jump in. We're going to talk about the buttons. You will notice that there are two buttons. I will highlight them for you. Here is button number 1. Here is button number 2. 2 buttons. But much like the Apple Watch and much like the iPhone, you can do a lot with 2 buttons when you combine them in different ways. So we're going to start with the top one, which is called the digital crown. This is called the digital crown. It has 2 different things that it can do. You can spin it, just like you can on a standard watch. Don't go to sleep on me. Stay up for me. Oh, so annoying, Frank. It's so annoying because it just times out for no good reason, and then I got to reset it. Let me try and reset it again.
We love technology.
Oh, love it. It's beautiful. Never fails. Never
The
fails.
link to the smart guide is in the chat for everybody if that's easier for you. I know some of you are watching this on your phone, so not very convenient to scan a QR code. So you can hit that link and download that.
All right, so here we go. Your digital crown can be spun or can be pressed. The first thing you want to know is when you're on your watch like I am now, if I press it, and by pressing it, I'm talking about not spinning it, but pushing down and in on it, just for clarity. If you press it when you're on the watch, you will go into your app screen. If you press it when you're inside of essentially any app, get you into that app, it will take you back to the watch. So it's essentially a toggle button. It's like the home button used to be on our iPhones. Pressing it will take you out of the watch and into your apps. Pressing it again will take you out of the apps and into your watch. That is the first thing the digital crown does. The second thing the digital crown does is what we just talked about a moment ago, which is Siri. Pressing and holding it in, again, pressing means not spinning it, but pushing it inwards. Pressing and holding it in will trigger Siri. What time is it in New York? Okay. You'll notice I did not say HS, hey, followed by the word Siri, because when you press the button on your phone, on your iPad, or on your watch, it's like saying the words without needing to say them. So you can get right into what you want to say. When's my next appointment? And it's going to jump right in and give you information. In addition to that, you can use Siri to open apps. This is the critical piece that people miss out on, because without using Siri, getting into your apps means pressing into the digital crown like this and scrolling through this laundry list of apps. Now, I know your list of apps looks different than mine. Your list of apps most likely looks like this, which drives me bonkers. To me, this is a really inconvenient way to look at things. It's all just images. I don't know where the alphabet is. I don't know where anything is. So if you scroll to the bottom, and by scrolling, now I'm talking about turning the dial. So if you are in your app screen and you scroll on it down to the bottom, you can choose the list view that I use, making it easier to see what you're in. But regardless of whether you have it on that grid view or that list view, trying to get into the app you want when it's important is really problematic, which is why you want to use complications, but why you also want to use Siri, because sometimes the watch face you're using doesn't have the complication for the app you need. For example, I might want to start a workout right now. Start a workout. All right, we're ready. Let's go. Let's take our walk. I'm ready to do it. I'm into it. It's easy. So my point in that is, turn that work off. My point in that is, don't get yourself lost on having to do everything in this screen. This screen is stupidly designed and terrible. And whether you scroll using the digital crown or scroll using your finger on the screen itself, it's still too hard to get what I need in front of me when I can just say, open messages. Try that again. Open messages. And have it open right up and get me right into business. So don't overlook the power of using Siri. Now so the digital crown, press to cycle between the home screen, the watch, the apps. Okay. Second thing is press and hold for Siri. The third thing is spin for scrolling. So when I'm here, I can use my finger right on the screen and I can do this and scroll up and down. No problem. Sometimes that's easier. But using the actual digital crown for what it was made for, scrolling, in my opinion, is just a much more effective way to move up and down quickly on your screen. So I'm using that digital crown and scrolling on it. The next tip is, if you are on the home screen, I'm calling this the home screen, we can call it the watch face, whatever you want to call it, and you scroll, you will get into what are called widgets. Widgets show you the apps you have most recently been in and make it easy for you to get back to them. So here we can see that workout that I started a moment ago. I did 4 whole seconds of it. Frank, does that count? Is that going to close my rings? Yeah, totally. 4 seconds of workout will do it, right? Right. I wish. Here it's got a timer. Here it's letting me know that I can let a friend know that I'm working out. Here's my weather where I am. Here's the next couple of appointments. By being on the watch face and just spinning the digital crown, oh, lost it. Ha 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 ha. I can get it back up quickly here. By spinning on that digital crown, you get into your widgets screen, which can allow you to jump directly into your calendar or a specific event without having to use Siri and without having to go back to the app screen. Okay. And as if that's not enough things for the digital crown to do, there is one more thing that the digital crown does, and that is you can double click. Get back where I want you. Here. You can double press the digital crown to enter into a mode where you can quit apps. So you know on your phone where you get to that screen where you're swiping the things up because you're trying to quit them? You can do that on your watch as well with a double press of the home button and then swiping on the specific apps that are open to close them out. This does not need to be done habitually, just like it doesn't need to be done habitually on the phone. But if your watch is dying for no good reason and you want to fix it, that's the way to do it. I'm going to keep going here. You still with me, Frank?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Second button. So all of that, 5 separate things done by the digital crown. Pressing to toggle between the watch face and the home screen, pressing and holding for Siri, spinning for scrolling, spinning for widgets, and double tapping to force quit apps. Now we'll talk about the second button. My favorite thing of all about the second button is the comment I get from 90% of people when I tell them to press it. What button? The other button. There's another button on the screen? Yeah, it's the button right underneath the only button anybody ever uses. Oh, is that important to use that button? Gee, I don't know. Apple usually puts extra buttons on things that we're never going to use, right? They love adding buttons to things. I mean, think about how many buttons we've got on our phone. What, we've only got like 3 on our phone? Oh, maybe it's important. Let's talk about what it does. The first thing is that a press of that side button gets you into your control panel. Your control panel holds a lot of the utilities and things that you need to do on a regular basis. Up at the top of the control panel, you'll notice the indicator screen. This shows your current settings. So it's saying that I am currently connected to my cell phone, I am currently on silent mode, and I am currently in the middle of a workout, which I don't really want to be on, but that's currently what it's, oh no, sorry, that's because we're screen mirroring. That's what that third one is. So coming into the control panel with a single click and then using either your finger to scroll or the digital crown to scroll, you've got a ton of tools. I just want to talk about a couple of them really quickly. This one right here, super helpful. So my mom calls me, she's lost her phone again. And she says to me, you know what I wish, Dylan? I wish the Apple Watch had a button that would allow me to ring my phone. Oh, you mean the button that allows you to ring your phone? You didn't know you had that, Mom? Hit the control panel. That's what that button does. It will ring your phone so that you never lose your phone. It's one of my favorite tools. We've also got our battery power here, which is important to know about. But beyond that, oh, come on. We froze on our screen, Frank. It's not frozen on mine. It's frozen on ours. Can you refresh it?
Let's see.
Here, let me do it this way. I'll stop the share. Something went on here. This is the way it works sometimes. You get issues and you work your way through them.
Things seem to be okay on this end.
All right, good.
Yep.
So, pressing that side button, you can see the ping your phone, you can see your power, you can see your silent or vibrate mode. You can also turn on what is called theater mode. Theater mode is this mode that you see right here. It will turn your watch off so it doesn't light up when you raise it, and it will turn your vibrations off. It's essentially do not disturb for the watch. Why does it have a theater face on it? So that when you're in a live performance of Wicked at the Pantages Theater surrounded by 500 people and you stand up to applaud, everybody doesn't see your watch making a big light across the entire screen. So that's what that function is that is the theater mode. You've also got flashlight mode, which can give your watch a little bit of a flashlight. This one here is in case you go swimming with it, that's to eject water. This one that we see over here is, oh, make me go, come on, stay with me, stay with me. This one here is the text size, and then down here we've got an edit button that we can use to add or remove additional functions. The control panel is key. Learning how to use it is important. Don't overlook that button. That button is not there for cosmetic purposes. It's there because it's part of the watch. Okay. It's going to be a day of me resetting the share. The Apple Watch share is not nearly as good as it should be, but at least it's functional. All right, second thing, we talked about the control panel. If you press and hold your side button, you will go into emergency mode. If I hold that down all the way, I will have the authorities at my door trying to make sure I didn't fall down and hurt myself. You can also swipe up here to get somebody's medical information. So if somebody passes out in front of you and they have an Apple Watch, press that side button and hold it in, and then swipe on the medical ID section here, and it will tell you if they're allergic to anything, their doctor's information, any info that they put into their health section shows up there. This other thing here is new that says Compass Backtrack, and Compass Backtrack specifically has to do with hiking and getting lost. If you have lost your way and you cannot find out how to get home, pressing compass backtrack will literally take you back the way you came. Super helpful. So glad they put a button there. And then the third thing is if you double tap that button, you get Apple Pay. So if you want to simplify your life and not want to carry your wallet around on a regular basis, and you already have Apple Pay on your phone, you can easily connect it to your watch. A single double click, that is a 1, 2, click here, 1, 2, will bring up Apple Pay, allowing you to not reach into your wallet, not reach into your purse, not reach into your pocket when you want to pay, and just go click, click, and be done. It's funny that the Apple Watch has been around for 11 years and Apple Pay has been around since almost the beginning. And I still, on a day-to-day basis, I use it all the time. I never use my wallet. I never use Apple Pay on my phone. It's one of the main things I use the watch for. Every time I use it, somebody goes, I didn't know you could do that. I'm like, that's because you didn't know there was a second button on your watch. God forbid you actually learn about your technology. You guys are all different. You are here specifically to be learning about your technology. How valuable is that? You spend all this money on this watch. Let's actually figure out how to use it. Okay, there's 2 more things we need to talk about, then we'll catch our breath. We're way ahead of time today, so we're in good shape in spite of all our technical glitches. Here's the other piece. There are only 2 buttons, but if you use them together, we can count them as a third button. If you use both buttons and click both buttons simultaneously, you will get a screenshot. You saw it sort of flash on that page, right? So if you're needing to show something to Dylan because, he's bugging you about your next workout or whatever it happens to be, and you're like, I want to show Dylan that I did do that workout. I can come right in here. I can come right in here and I can screenshot that workout page and send it to anyone. So a quick tap of both buttons is a screenshot, and I'm not going to do it, but if you press and hold on both buttons, it will reboot your phone. I'm not going to do it because I have enough trouble with this phone staying on the screen today. So I'm going to just reiterate everything you just heard so you can keep track of it. It should all be inside the Smart Guide. You have 2 buttons. The digital crown, press for the watch and the home screen and the apps. Press and hold for Siri. Spin to scroll. Spin for the widgets, double tap to force quit apps. Side button, control panel, right there. Double click for Apple Pay, press and hold for emergency tools. Using both buttons, click both buttons simultaneously for a screenshot, press and hold them for a reboot. People don't learn how to use the buttons of their watch, and then they get frustrated because they don't know how to do things. Now, the only other thing I'm going to talk about before we step back for a moment is complications. I'm going to talk about complications for a moment because it's really an important piece. Now, you heard me say, make sure you use different watch faces for different purposes. We kind of looked at it, but let's take a look at it here. I'm going to press and hold on my screen, pulls me into a separate view, and then I'm going to swipe on my screen to pick a different one of my watch faces. And let's go ahead and let's pick, I think I want to do that one. Yeah, let's do this one. And now I'm going to tap on it. That's how you switch your watch faces. Press and hold on the screen and then swipe left or right. You used to be able to do these things a different way, but unfortunately, the way it was done before, they've stopped doing that, but it meant that people accidentally flipped around their faces without intention. It's very hard to accidentally change your watch face now. You got to, now come on back here. Come on back here. Okay, coming. There you go. So with each of these complications, I can click on it to do something. That will take me into a workout. This will take me into that calendar appointment. This will open up my timer. This will open up voice memos, and this will open up a 2-minute timer. I think that's actually stopwatch on the left if I'm correct. When you are inside the watch face, when you are inside the watch app on your phone, you can change your complications, but you can also do it from the watch itself. Now for clarity, I recommend making big changes from the watch app on the phone, but in a pinch, you can push down on any watch face and click where it says edit. That will allow you to change the background, just like that, using my scroll or the little wheel at the top. That will allow me to change the style of the writing, to change the colors, the color scheme. Like maybe I'd rather have this be black and white or red based or green. I can just completely alter it right here, right from the watch. And then if I swipe over again, it'll show me the separate complications, and I can click on any one of them to choose from a huge list of other options. Set up your complications so you don't need Siri and you don't need to go into the apps, so that when I want to start a timer, which happens to be for cooking all the time, all I have to do is press it. And it's in, it's ready for me. So that when I need a voice memo, all I have to do is press it. And it's ready for me to record. I don't have to click that digital crown and look up and where is voice memos? Where is it? Or God forbid you've got it in this section. Where is voice memos? Where is it? All I see are apps. Oh my God, I'm never going to get this. I'm going to forget what I wanted to record before what am I going to do? Use complications. They are the key to making the smartwatch smart. And by setting up different watch faces with different complications, you can easily get to the app that you need when you need it without ever talking to Siri or looking at this mess of an app structure. So those are my critical tips. That's the buttons. Use the watch app on the phone. Use different faces for different purposes. Master complications. Use Siri for sure. Change the app view out of that stupid grid view that it's got that is completely useless for all of us. We've lost our AirPlay mirroring again. And make sure to know what the different buttons do. Let's go back to the big page. Go ahead, Frank, take us away.
Wow. Incredible. Just for clarity, when you hold both buttons down, does that reboot the watch or reboot your phone?
It's all about the watch. It reboots the watch.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Technically speaking, if you hold two buttons down on the phone, it will reboot the phone too, but you need to know which two buttons.
Yeah. That's right. I think you said phone. That's why I just wanted to clarify. Cool. Why don't we talk a little bit about memberships?
Perfect.
I want to first start on the YouTube membership. And by the way, congratulations. You hit over 55,000 subscribers. Oh, I'm at the top. You over 55,000 subscribers a couple of days ago, I think. Right?
I think we're at 58 now if I double check. I mean, the growth in the last, a couple of months has just been staggeringly, like, we are just growing and growing and growing. I think if I look it up, I believe we're at 58,000 or very, very close to it right now.
It's great.
Remember way back when we were excited to hit 20,000? We had a whole party for it. We had a whole celebration, and then 3 days later it was 30,000. Well, now we're about to hit 60, so buckle up.
Rock on. But yeah, I thought we'd spend a couple minutes on this because this is growing. And someone just mentioned that they weren't able to get on here, not because they weren't a member, but it looks like when you're a member on YouTube, you immediately get this live, but others that aren't members take a delay. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, I did a members only live broadcast on Sunday.
Okay.
Let's talk about what members only means. So you can see here this page that Frank's got up. This is a YouTube membership. This is a way for you to help support me and support this channel. For clarity, in case you didn't know, I have a day job. I work on other people's computers. I drive around Los Angeles. I do live in Los Angeles. I am safe. Thank you for asking. Terrible, heartbreaking to see all my clients and friends who've lost homes. It's a mess here. But I do live in Los Angeles, and I have a day job of helping people with their technology. I've been doing it for over 20 years. But what I've done in the last year is I've put more and more attention and focus on building the YouTube videos and the YouTube channel. In order to help support me to do that, you can become a member of this channel. Membership starts at 99 cents per month and goes up to $20 per month. Right at the moment, all of the membership levels get the same perks. I know that's not the way I'm supposed to do it, but my recommendation is give what you can. If you love this channel, you love what we're doing, give what you can. It helps. Every little bit helps. And as we grow, it allows us to do more and more with it. You can hit this QR code, or you can go into my YouTube channel. There's a join button right at the top that will allow you to join at any of the 4 different levels we've got. We are almost at 50 members. It was not that long ago. We were excited to hit 30. The more members we get, the more frequently I will do member events. Right at the moment, we're looking to do at least 1 live members-only event every month. When I have a members-only event, if you're not a member, you will not see it until I post it, if I post it to everyone. These lives you should have access to right away. If you did not get alerted in a timely way, make sure you are subscribed to my channel and you've hit the notification button. The notification button will alert you when I go live. We currently go live every Thursday, usually at 12 o'clock, occasionally at 1 o'clock. But the end of this conversation is, if you like what you're seeing here, you're getting great value, you love learning in this way, and you want to continue learning, please help me put more attention and focus into what I'm doing on YouTube by helping to support this channel and becoming a member. I think that's a good segue for us to talk about the MacWhisperer, Frank, when you're ready.
You're talking about the membership for MacWhisperer? Yeah,
Yep.
I think so too. We'll bring that up for you.
So I want you guys to forget that we just had a whole conversation about membership. This is a different kind of membership. It's only the word that's the same. Yeah, I noticed that. We flipped places. How'd that happen? We'll just do a little dance. I'll go down here. You'll go up there. We'll have fun with each other.
Guessing.
I've been the MacWhisperer for over 20 years, doing all sorts of work in person, remotely. I've got clients all over the world. I've been doing this for a really long time. In the beginning of 2020, I created a membership to create classes to help more and more people learn how to use their Apple technology. This is a link to check out the MacWhisperer membership. If you are interested, we're offering a 30-day free option right now. Come check out what we're doing. Our next live call is tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Pacific time. We are continuing our conversation about how to set goals, track goals, and accomplish more than you ever thought possible in 2025. I'm not just your normal tech guy. I'm also a life coach. I've also got a lot of experience with habit tracking and helping people build habits that save them time. I use technology to do it. If you want to be more organized, you want to be more productive, or you just want to learn about your technology, the MacWhisperer membership is the best place for you to do it. It comes with 2 live 2-hour classes every month, plus a 1-hour live Q&A where you can ask any question, not just about the topic of the week, but any question you need help on. I've helped people buy new phones, set up phones, wipe phones, whatever you need, that Q&A is there for you. It is $100 per month. First 30 days are on us. So if you want to check that out and come to class tomorrow, hit that QR code, and I look forward to seeing you in class.
We only make that 30-day free here on these lives, so that's just a special that we bring everybody. I really enjoyed last week, the week before, when you talked about context, purpose, and results. I thought that was extremely, applying in what you want to accomplish in 2025, putting down the results and the purpose of that and how you're going to hold yourself. I thought that was great. So I'm looking forward to the follow-up on that tomorrow. I'm going to put my email address, because as people that have been visiting before know that I give out a couple of free invitations to the membership. So if you can make 9 a.m. Pacific tomorrow and you want to check out what we do in a Zoom classroom, very different than what we do here. We're actually in a Zoom classroom where we interact. Please pop me an email and I'd be happy to see if we can invite you. So that's what's happening there. A bunch of questions, Dylan. So I know we got to...
Well, we got a couple of pro tips. This is going to take us about 5 minutes. We have a watch face that is working, so we might as well do it quick.
Let's do it.
All right. So when it comes to the watch, I get asked all the time, why should I get a watch? What is the most valuable things you can do on the watch? I'm going to tell you about 4 things. We're going to do it one after the other. It's going to happen quick, so grab your pens or your iPads or whatever you're taking notes on. Thing number 1, we've already talked about. Hands down, Apple Pay is the killer feature of the watch. The ability to have your wallet on your wrist trumps everything. Just trumps everything. And hey, you know what else I like? I like being able to know what time it is. But being able to pay with my watch is 100% one of my pro tips. The second one we've also talked about, inside of your control panel, the ability for you to easily locate your phone. This happens all the time. People lose their phones all the time. It happened to me at a client's yesterday. The client walks in, I'm working with her husband. True story, always true stories with me. I'm working with the client's husband. The client comes in and goes, honey, I know you're busy with Dylan right now, but can you call my phone so I can find it? And I looked at him and I looked at her and I was like, A, nobody's calling phones. We can go on Find My to locate it. B, do you have an Apple Watch? She's like, yeah, why? I said, press the side button. She said, what button? Not kidding. Happens every time. The button underneath the button. Oh, that's a button? Yeah, press that button. She pressed that button. She hit the ping button and she went, oh, it's right next to me. Thanks, Dylan, and walked away. Don't overlook the ability to ping your phone. It is super, super, super helpful. Power tip number, oh, don't log out of it. Come on. Oh, okay, I got to reset my stop share for a second. It happened.
Stay with me.
Hold tight. Stay with me. We're going to get it. Is it working again? There it goes. Okay. Clunky, 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 clunky technology, people. Clunky. Sorry, these things happen. Tip number 3. Have you ever wanted to take a photograph of yourself or people without a Bluetooth camera remote, but you have an Apple Watch? Well, you should definitely check out, and of course I got to change this to the right view, something on your watch called Camera Remote. What Camera Remote does is it shows you the camera of your phone. That's where my phone is, guys. It's over there, right? And allows me to, from my watch, click a button that will take a picture from my watch. So if you've ever been, that's a terrible view, let's get out of that view, get out of my ear. So if you've ever been in a situation where you need to take a picture of yourself or someone else and a selfie range is not good enough, you actually want to set it up, use the camera remote on the watch. It is a huge tool. And the third one, which is something that I never hear anybody talk about. I never hear anybody talk about it. I think it's super important. Here's the way it goes. First off, I don't like noise. I don't know about the rest of you. You can clickety-clack on your phones all day and have all the sound effects, and every time somebody calls or emails you, the phone beeps and buzzes, and I hate it. I hate noise. I'd rather have my watch just buzz. However, sometimes I have the volume on, or sometimes somebody will call me and it will buzz. If you want to silence your phone or watch and go into Do Not Disturb mode, all you have to do is hold your hand over your watch for 3 seconds. So if your phone is ringing, you'll notice it's kind of knocked my phone out there for a second. If your phone is ringing and you feel it on your watch and you don't want to take that call, but you can't hit decline on the phone, just go like this. Just cover over that watch. That is the silence mode. And so if you are in a movie theater and you forgot to put on Do Not Disturb on your watch and your watch starts ringing, just put your hand over it. It will completely silence it simply and easily. Now, I have one thing I want to say, which is for come back here. Nobody said we were done with you. I have one question. Somebody said, Todd said you can still scroll between watch faces. Apple brought that feature back. I have no idea how to do that, because ever since they upgraded the software to forcing you to push in order to scroll between them, I have not been able to swap the watch face without doing that. So Todd, if that is true, that on the latest version of the watch and the operating system that you can scroll between faces, please confirm that for me without pressing and holding on the watch face. Frank's smile is perpetually broken. Come on.
You know how often I get that? So Frank, lighten up. I'm like, what?
Awesome.
Thank you,
awesome.
Catwoman.
Ron, where it says free, it's $100 after the first 30 days. It should not charge you immediately. If you have any issue with it, let me know. We will definitely refund that charge immediately. It should be a $100 charge that happens after 30 days. And Todd, when you say scroll, are you saying just swiping on the face of your phone, or are you talking about using the scroll wheel? When you say scroll, that's a specific functionality for me. left to right. Don't work. Doesn't work for me. Has not worked for me in 3 watches and 2 operating system updates. Please confirm with me which watch you're on, and I'll double check it. Because I know exactly what you're talking about, but it 100% does not work for me anymore. Oh, it has to be turned on in accessibility. Good to know. You know what I love? I love that you guys aren't shaming me for asking questions. Thank you. Appreciate
That's awesome.
that. I do not have 100% of information on 100% of things. That's something I would definitely put back on. Thank you for that. I'm complete with my presentation. Frank, do we have some questions? We have anything we want to get into?
Yeah, we got questions. That's great. I love how the membership's we got questions. I love how as the membership's growing, there's more interaction, and I'm learning more and more just by everybody's questions. It's awesome.
Great. Keep them coming.
Yeah.
And thank you both, Todd and Ron. Good call on that. Both of you. I'll check it out when I'm off the call.
Battery percentage. How do you check that? I didn't see the battery on there. Somebody asked about how do you check the battery? Unless you covered it, I missed it.
I did cover it, but I will cover it again if it will work. We'll see. We'll give it a chance. We'll give it a moment. We'll see if it'll sync up.
My fault.
It is under the control panel. If you click on the side button, you'll see it from there. So that's where you get it.
Okay.
I'll show it once I get the watch back up here. What's next?
Somebody's asking if you can use the watch without cellular service.
So it's a good question, and you'll see that I did get it back on here. And I'm going to talk about 2 pieces of that question. The first thing is, can you use it without cellular? Absolutely, you can. The watch is made to use your iPhone's cellular connection, which means if you have your phone and your watch does not need cellular. Purchasing cellular for the watch is specifically if you want to use the watch as a standalone device, not as a device that requires the iPhone with it. Part number 2 to that question, which is not what was asked, can you use an Apple Watch without an iPhone? And the answer is no. The Apple Watch requires an iPhone for setup and for configuration. If you have cellular turned on the watch, you can use it without the phone once you've connected the phone, but it requires the phone in order for it to work properly. It is not capable of being used with an Android device or being used with no phone, period.
Pez is asking what version of the Apple Watch does he need? I'm not sure if I understand that question.
I'll answer that question. So here's the deal. There's essentially 3 different versions of the watch. There's the Apple Watch SE, which is their low-end version. There is the Apple Watch Standard, which I believe is 10th series. I think it's Series 10 right now. It just happened in November. And then the Ultra Watch 2. Let me explain the differences. The SE is meant for low entry price. It's like, I think, $329 or $429. It lacks many of the bells and whistles of the later version. It's essentially an Apple Watch 6 or 7 as far as its internal components, but it does the majority of what people need their watch to do. For a first-time user, there is nothing wrong with going with the Watch SE. It does a large majority of the functions. When you go into the 10th or 9th generation watch, you get a better watch, you get additional capabilities, you get additional fitness tools. There's sensors that are on those later watches for oxygen levels, for sleep levels, for heart rate monitoring, for things like that don't exist on the SE watch. They only exist on the later versions. And then when you go up to the Apple Watch Ultra, it is a larger screen, a bigger watch. It has a plastic or a rubber edge around it that protects the screen better, and it is meant for extreme sports. It's meant for, I wear my watch while I'm jumping on motorcycles, and sometimes I'm going to smash the ground with my watch first. It's made for, I'm going to dive into the ocean, to the very, very bottom of the ocean, and try and swim up to the Titanic. It's made for, I'm climbing up Mount Everest, and the only thing I'm bringing is my watch. The Ultra Watch is made for extreme environments. It is more expensive, has the same functionalities, it's just got a better housing that allows it to be more protected in extreme environments. And so which one do you want? In my opinion, it comes down to how much you want to spend and how essential extreme activities are, or the health functions. If you need high-level health functions, at least get the Apple Watch or the Ultra, don't get the SE. If you just want to start playing with the watch, just go get the SE and get started. You can always upgrade later. I personally have these series either 7 or 8. I don't buy a new one every year. And I keep getting asked why I didn't buy the Ultra. I don't actually want a bigger watch. I don't want it to take over my wrist. It's already a little bigger than I like. So that's my decision, but it's up to you what yours is.
Is the Apple Watch waterproof? I saw something, an icon on there earlier.
Yep. Yeah, well, I won't say waterproof. I will say highly water resistant. The Apple Watch Ultra is even more water resistant, but the standard Apple Watch, I believe it's water resistant to 50 meters or 100 meters, something like that. I mean, you can take it in the bath, you can take it in the pool, you can take it in the ocean, you can sit in your jacuzzi with it, you can take it in a shower. I've had Apple Watches from the beginning. I've never had an issue. I've never taken them off for water sports. I just leave it on when I do whatever. So it is essentially waterproof, but they call it water resistant for legal purposes.
Yeah, it makes sense. Can you set it up with without an iPhone, your Apple Watch?
Nope. Absolutely needs an iPhone in order for you to set it up. It doesn't have to be your iPhone. You can set it up for your kid or your daughter or something like that, but it requires an iPhone for setup, and for the most effective usage, it really needs a phone.
Got it. Randy's asking if you enable Apple Pay, security becomes an issue. Got any thoughts on the best security method? Or is there?
Well, it's really simple. Yeah, it's really simple. I love when people say this to me. They go, "Oh, I'm gonna reduce my security if I ... Is it safe to put this on my phone? Is it safe to do this on my watch?" And the answer is, does your watch have a code that is required for you to put in order for it to unlock? If the answer is no, that's on you. If the answer is yes, which is the default for the Apple Watch, is that it's got that 4-digit PIN code or a 6-digit PIN code that you can use, as soon as your watch is removed from your wrist, it locks. Meaning, who cares what's on it? Is it hackable? Sure, but so is everything. The reality is, if you're going to use Apple Pay, you want to make sure you've got that PIN code, and that's that. If your watch is taken off of your wrist, it will lock and nobody can get into it, period. So I just want to be clear that security is an important component that's built into most Apple products, unless people deactivate the PIN code or say, "Hi, I don't want my watch to have a PIN code." Well, then it won't let you do Apple Pay. Apple Pay requires the PIN code. The PIN code is your security. One of the other things, people talk about security on the Apple Watch, understanding that Apple Pay only works with about a 3-inch distance. Which means if you're standing in line at the grocery store and you're using this to Apple Pay, the person behind you is not close enough to steal your information and would require all sorts of special equipment in order to do it, and you would still see that it was happening. So I don't mind people being concerned about security, but let's not go overkill here. As long as you're using the PIN code, your watch is safe. As long as you have a PIN code, a passcode, a Face ID on your phone is safe. If you don't, or your passcode is 0000, then that's on you. Complete.
Okay. Notifications. Is that set up? Is that a setup to get notifications on your phone?
Yeah, it's actually automatic. And if you come into the Watch app, you're going to notice that there's a whole section. Where did I find it? I just passed it. There should be a whole section. It's right up at the top. I missed it. There's a whole section for notifications. And this section can allow you to control any specific notifications or to mirror the notifications of your phone. In other words, if your phone beeps when a Facebook message comes in, your watch can also beep. And you can choose to have it mirror things or not mirror them. And you can choose at any point to say, mirror this app, don't mirror that app. Also important to note, I can't show it because I can't get the watch back on, but if you pull down from the top of your watch face, you'll get your notification screen. So that's a little shortcut on how to easily pull up your notifications. It's just pull down on the watch face. Okay. Kind of like you do on the phone. All right.
As always, use my email, everybody, if you have questions that we didn't get to today. Scott, I'm curious about this one. Scott's asking about the left button on an Ultra 2.
Oh, so let's talk about the left button on the Ultra 2. This is super important.
Okay.
Apple has started adding buttons to things. It's now happened 3 times. The first one was the Ultra Watch. The Ultra Watch has a button on the left side that is called the Action button. When they released the iPhone 15 Pro and the iPhone 16, they also gave those an Action button. And the Action button is completely customizable. I'm only going to show you on the phone, but on the phone, you can make your Action button do all sorts of things, whether it's taking a picture, opening up your flashlight, doing voice memos, running a shortcut. The same is true on the watch. You can trigger that Action button to do a large variety of things, such as when I press this, automatically start a workout. When I press this, automatically call my mom. When I press this, send a text to Frank saying, smile, damn it, smile. Whatever you want to program in, that Action button is customizable just like it is on the iPhone 15. And it's controllable from the settings in the watch, or, yep, you get it, you guessed it, from the settings inside of the watch app. I don't have that setting here because I don't have the Ultra Watch, but it just shows up and you can pick whatever you want as your action feature. Pretty cool. I mean, I like that they're giving us customizable buttons that allow us to do multiple things. The funny thing is, the majority of people with an iPhone 15 Pro or 16, their Action button is set to the silent mode, which is what it was for the last 18 years. You could have any button. That button could do anything you want to do. I want it to make my phone silent. Great. We should talk about why you're silencing and unsilencing your phone so often, because realistically, you shouldn't need to do that. But hey, that's why they gave us options. That's why they make chocolate and vanilla, Frank. Because some people like chocolate and some people don't.
Outstanding. All right, we're over time. Always have a good time here. I could stay on for another hour for sure. But until next week, I think next week's Freeform, right?
Yep.
Or live.
Yep. If you want to drop the smart guide, why don't you pull that up for a second for anyone who did not grab it and came in late? Yeah, I think you just pop that up for just a sec.
Let's do it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for helping out in the chat. I saw a lot of people offering support, offering suggestions. I can't always read the chat when I'm performing because it's a little bit too much multitasking, but I recognize that there are some real power users here that are bringing their wisdom and their knowledge, and I appreciate you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for showing up. Please keep showing up. Consider becoming a member and let us know what you want us to talk about next. Thanks so much for being here, Frank.
See you next week, bud. Take care, everybody.